Welcome everyone to the game show Mutation Mashup. My name is Gene Mutation and I will be your host for the evening. Today we have contestants from the Byrne family.
We are so excited to get the right mutations.
Here are the rules. There are 3 lethal and 3 suppressor genes. Your job is to match the right lethal gene to its corresponding suppressor. You have 3 chances to get the right match. If you don't guess it correctly you will be eliminated, but if you get it right in 3 tries or less you get to keep the suppressor and live a long prosperous life. You also have 2 lifelines: learn the history and phone a scientist.
Gene, do you mind explaining the lifelines a little bit more?
No problem. Learn the history allows you to have some background info about the genes, lethal and suppressor, that you have selected before you submit your answer. Phone a scientist allows you to call a geneticist that specializes in the gene that you pick, hopefully, giving you insight and helping you pick the right suppressor.
Thanks, Gene.
One more thing. There is only one correct combination, so be very careful when making your decisions. Let's begin. Round 1. Here are your options: lethal, TPM1, ID15, CFTR and protectant TLN2, BDNF, HLA-68.
Hey Gene, we will pick TPM1 for the lethal gene and BDNF for the suppressor gene.
Would you like to call in a lifeline? You can use 1 per round.
Sure. We will pick learn the history for the TPM1 gene.
Sounds great. The history of the TPM1 lethal gene.
TPM1, also known as alpha-tropomyosin, is a recessive gene. It is lethal and will affect embryos. It is expressed in both cardiac and skeletal muscle, however it is mostly seen in cardiac muscle. Perhaps this is because the mutations change the cardiac-specific isoform of tropomyosin, which is a protein that aids in muscle contraction. Mutations cause a change in the binding affinity of tropomyosin to actin. Additionally, there is a shift to the blocked form of tropomyosin, preventing normal muscle contraction. This results in an embryo without a heartbeat.
Round 2.
Gene, let's try the CFTR and TLN2 combination.
Great. Would you like to submit that answer or call another lifeline?
Let's use our last lifeline and call a geneticist about the matter. Can we hear about the TLN2 gene, please?
Great choice. Let's call them, shall we?
A variant in TLN2, another myofilament actin-binding protein, is identified as a candidate suppressor. Mouse CRISPR knock-in, key, of both the TLN2 and TPM1 variants rescues heart beating, with near-term fetuses exhibiting large ASD. Thus, the role of TPM1 in ASD pathogenesis unfolds with suppression of its embryonic lethality by protective TLN2 variant. These findings provide evidence that genetic resiliency can arise with genetic suppression of a deleterious mutation.
Round 3. Now that you know some history and have talked to a geneticist on the matter, what will your final picks be?
Our final picks will be the TPM1 and TLN2.
Great choice. With those 2 genes together, you get the right combination for survival.
Thanks,
Gene.
Thanks for playing Mutation Mashup with me, Gene Mutation. We would like to say thank you to our sponsors, StatNewsandCell.com. We would also like to thank our viewers for tuning in. Stay tuned for next week's episode.